I'm with Josh, the driving instructor. We are up in Mill Hill and we are going to be doing an instructor mock test. Which is a part 2 to anyone out there that's actually in training, learning to be a driving instructor. But for you, the general public, what this means is he's going to be doing a very high level test.
Not feeling good.
You're not feeling good about it?
Not feeling great about it.
We don't have to get that serious about it though, do we? Do we need to be serious about it?
No.
They said it wasn't possible, but I think I've broken Josh.
Okay, so we're not, do you know what? We're not going to actually go...
Oh, yes, we are.
If anyone doesn't know what a part 2 is, it's basically an advanced driving test. It's a driving test that you have to do before actually qualifying to be a driving instructor.
How many faults are you allowed to get, do you know?
In this, it's 6 faults. Is it 6 and you fail, or is it 7 and you fail?
7 would be a fail.
Okay.
And also, eco-safe driving is now on there. So any PDIs out there that are taking their part 2s, you've now got to think about, are you driving economically? I think it might be a really good idea that you're showing everybody what a driving instructor should be thinking when they're driving to a high standard. So what's that tool that we all use when we're driving to a high standard?
Oh no, he's thinking.
I'll put him on the spot. It may have been...
Highway code?
Could be, well, it's definitely the highway code. Yeah, you definitely need the highway code. But there's a tool that you can use. There's a tool that you can use to make sure that you're driving to a high standard. It's about talking through what you do.
The car.
You need a car. You definitely need a car. Do you know what? I'm leaving now. That's it. I'm done.
Okay, so commentary driving.
Commentary drive.
That's what I was saying first time. That's what I meant the first time. Commentary driving.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what that is. All his details I'm going to put below. He is fantastic. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him on TikTok. Any advice to anybody out there that's going to be doing their part 2?
The biggest bit of advice I can give is don't try and switch it on just before you test. You need to be practicing this commentary driving way before you test. You know, at least 3-4 weeks. You need to get your head in the zone. You can't drive like, you know, you've been driving for the last 10 years and then suddenly expect to turn on to, you know, good driver mode the day before, because it's just not going to work.
I'm going to put a massive caveat in here. If you're going to do a part 2 test, even if you're an ADI, you should be doing some training beforehand. Josh hasn't, because this is just a YouTube video.
That's probably my biggest bit of advice.
And I'd just like to take this moment to say like, comment and subscribe, because it really does boost the channel.
Any more to add for now?
For now, I don't expect to pass this, I'm going to be honest. I'll tell you why, because 1, I can't multitask at all, and I'm planning to talk during this as well, because it would be really, really boring if we just watch me driving. That's dull. So I am planning to talk, so I'm not going to be surprised at all if I fail today, but that's okay. We can't pass every test.
Okay, so we're going to be driving for about an hour.
Yeah.
We're going to take in all different types of road conditions.
Okay.
At all times, I like to follow the road ahead, unless I tell you to turn left or right.
Okay.
Unless road signs indicate otherwise.
Okay.
If I need you to turn, I'll tell you in good time.
Yeah.
We're going to take in 2 reversing manoeuvres.
Okay.
An emergency stop.
Yeah.
About 20 minutes of independent driving. In this case, it's going to be sat-nav.
Okay.
And I'll be asking you some show-me-tell-me questions.
Can't wait.
So tell me how you'd adjust your head restraint to give you the best protection in the event of a crash.
I'd make sure the centre of the head restraint was at eye level or the top of my ears.
Josh smashes out his show me tell me questions, so we're just going to get this moving.
Whenever you're ready then.
Cool. I'm going to point one thing out. I normally drive a diesel. This is a petrol.
No, it's not.
It's
So
a diesel.
that disclaimer's not going to work.
It's a diesel?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Oh. Okay.
But you're allowed disclaimers. You're allowed as many as you want.
I've never driven this car. Disclaimer.
Yeah. But he's a professional.
Little bit under pressure now.
So drive on when you're ready, Josh.
Thank you very much. Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. It's clear for you all. Now I'm just going to point out I did signal there and I couldn't see anyone. However, there's a lot of parked cars.
At the end of the road here, just talk over him. At the end of the road here, turn left, please.
Who's to say there wasn't someone in the parked car? Central left mirror.
At the end of the road?
Yeah.
That's going to make lovely noise, isn't it? End of the road, we're going to turn right.
Excellent.
That's all right with you?
That's absolutely fine with me. We've checked some mirrors. We're quite happy with how clear it is. Don't like that twitchy foot of yours. Wheels half turned, ready to go. It's looking nice and clear. Ooh, lovely. 30 signs, new zone. Check that central mirror. Oh, yes. Okay.
Now, if I wanted to be harsh,
Yeah.
You were doing 23, 24 before you'd gone past the 30 sign.
Was that a 20 zone? Do you know what? That is unbelievable. Because do you know how many 20 zones we have in Stoke?
Do you not have many?
Possibly one, and none in my test area. Not
Round
a
here,
single
at the
one.
roundabout, you're going to turn right.
Okay, so that's very interesting.
Now, it is incredibly harsh, but if you were a PDI on a mock test, I would definitely be faulting that. It is possible that a real examiner might let it go, but now it's no longer in your hands.
Would that go down as a serious or a minor?
No, I think
driving
that, I
fault.
think that would be a driver fault, wouldn't it?
Okay.
I mean, we're
I'd
talking,
hope so.
we're talking about meters here.
Yeah.
But technically, I mean, if you're with your learner,
Yeah.
at what point would they? What would you be teaching them?
I would, if it was me officially, if I had to go talking about faults, then I'd say 26. I'd say that's a definite. And if they haven't slowed down,
Well, it's not really that. It's more about the fact that you saw the 30 zone, you were speeding up to the 30 zone. You just did it a little bit early. So you're not like massively breaking the speed limit. Was there any risk there at that particular moment?
there didn't seem to be any risk.
And
No.
that's kind of how I look at it, right? So in that particular moment, however, at what point should you have been accelerating?
I shouldn't have hit anything. I should have stayed at 20 until I hit the 30 sign.
That's it.
And I should have known.
At the roundabout, you're going to follow the road ahead.
If it was a new zone sign, then it couldn't have been 30 before that. Oh well. I was thinking it must have been 40 or something like that, I
It
guess.
happens though, doesn't it?
Pardon?
It happens though, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and we're going to take the next road on the right, which is just past.
The vehicle that's got their bonnet up in the air like they just don't care.
I was just trying to figure that one out.
Maybe
there
they're
for a
doing the
second.
show me tell me bonnet question.
Is that the AA new tactic? And then I'd like you to find somewhere to pull up on the right in a safe place.
Okay. I did permit holder resident Monday 11 till 12.
Anywhere along here would be nice. I've got to say he's doing very well. He's already picked up a driver fault, but apart from
What
that,
was that for?
the speeding up before the sign.
Oh yeah. But what about that pulling over?
That was beautiful. I absolutely love it. Okay, so this is obviously the first reversing manoeuvre that we're going to be doing today. So I'd like you to reverse the car up to about 2 car lengths, about 10 metres, keeping reasonably close to the curb.
Okay.
Yeah.
As Josh goes to reverse, the car rolls forwards. But I'm going to let Josh decide whether that's a fault or not. Now, Josh really should have stopped the car there as the car was coming past.
It's your fault.
Is it my fault?
If you're reversing, you are the hazard.
I made sure there were a wide enough gap away.
Can I also just put this in there that this is obviously a YouTube video, and I'm just trying to be nice to you.
Yeah, I know.
But being distracted is all part of it, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
That'll do. Okay, just stay where you are for a second. I know we're blocking the driveway, but just don't worry about that too much. I just need to put down all those faults.
Oh dear. God, I don't enjoy driving around London.
Do you not?
No.
Do you not? So how did you feel about that little roll forwards there as you were?
I didn't think it was unsafe.
Yeah, definitely not.
No.
All right, but is it non-noteworthy or I mean?
It would definitely go down as a driving fault.
So driver fault.
Yeah, it would go down as a driving fault. And I'll tell you why I did it. Because as I say, I'm not familiar
He's not
with
used to
this car.
It's exactly
No,
it.
my car wouldn't have done that because it doesn't move forward
Were
until I raise the clutch.
you hoping that was
I
going to hold
thought
you?
that holds it.
Yeah.
And why doesn't it hold it?
Because it's got to be a severe enough hill.
In case you're wondering, we're talking about the auto hold on the electronic handbrake.
Really?
In this car, yes.
So you've got to hold the brake and raise the clutch up.
Well, it's just this thing kind of activates. So did you see that now? That little
Yeah,
thing
so
there.
it's on now.
That tells you it's activated. So
Yeah.
when you came to a stop, was it activated? Was there a car coming past us as you were moving?
Yeah. But I did make sure that it was nice and wide and it was ready.
Just as nice as wide as it. But what should you have been doing there?
I should have stopped.
You should have stopped.
Yeah. As I say, that was just pressure. No excuse really.
Is-
That was just the pressure, and yeah.
Yeah.
If a car's coming past.
But
you're
this
doing
is a
reversing
video.
fast.
This is a video,
Yeah.
guys. So what would you put that down as?
Probably a serious fault.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that so within the right reverse.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, it's absolutely fine. We'll talk about it at the end.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it at the end. So what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to follow the sat-nav for a period of approximately 20 minutes.
Okay.
Although I think on this one it's actually a tiny bit longer. I do apologise for that. If at any stage you're not sure where you're going, please ask. It's not a problem. And if the sat-nav gives you a really random direction, which I think it does on this particular route, I will obviously help you out a little bit.
Okay. On this move off, Josh does perform effective observation, especially roadside, but I would have liked to have seen him check his right wing mirror and possibly his right shoulder. It's not always essential, but it's definitely worth checking, especially if you're a PDI on a Part 2.
Sounds good.
Whenever you're ready, Josh.
Okay. I can't see past his van, so I'm going to signal.
Josh has a tricky move off. He's got a van blocking his view. As he goes to move off, he does hit the brake a little bit too hard.
Just going to wait about that.
You will arrive at your destination at 1:41 p.m.
I'm just going to put this down as advisory, but be careful. This could go down as a braking fault.
And with that, we're going to drive on. Never driven around here. I'll tell you what, the hardest bit is actually knowing, is paying attention to 20s. I'm used to just going 30 everywhere. Oh, are you crossing? You're going to cross, aren't you? Of course you are.
Josh hasn't checked mirrors for this slowdown, and he knows it.
Tell you what, the hardest bit is actually knowing, is paying attention to 20s. I'm used to just going 30 everywhere. Oh, crossing, you're going to cross, aren't you? Of course you are.
Josh is talking. He's distracted. It's bound to happen. But if this was your Part 2, you'd be picking up a driver fault for mirrors for slowdown.
Okay, I'm guessing it's a university.
I mean, what are the roads like where you drive?
Not anywhere near as tight or slow as this, I would say.
Then go left on the roundabout and take the first exit, Aerodrome Road.
As I say, the minimum speed around where I am would be generally about 30 miles per hour.
Turn right,
in general,
go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
And I'm not used to city driving as well.
It's much more rural where you are, is it?
Yes, it is rural. I mean, Newcastle is a town as well. Well, it's Stoke-on-Trent City,
left
but...
on the roundabout and take the first exit, Aerodrome Road.
Now, I know I've just been talking about distraction, but I am distracting him here, and he's maintaining a good drive.
But I just don't think... There's lots of new situations that I'm having to deal with here, like dual carriageway going across and turning right. There's not really many areas you have to do that.
After 300 yards, go straight on Greyhound Hill, then turn around when possible.
There are two things of note here that Josh does. See if you can see them. Answer in the comments.
For some reason, the sat-nav always does this to me at this particular junction. Are these, I mean, what do you think about these sat-navs in the first place?
I think they're absolutely terrible. I think there's only one good thing about them, and that's that they record routes.
That's it. I would love them to develop a new system. I definitely think something attached to this, so that you could just sort of plug it in. They have a little device. You plug it in, it comes up on there. It's
absolutely. I don't know why someone hasn't come up with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But no, those systems, I would never use them for anything other than a driving test.
Did you spot them?
It's that moment that whoever's giving you the exam is just like scribbling on them. I could just be writing absolutely nothing. I might actually be doing that for no reason.
I think you are.
Yeah?
I think you are. Yeah. If you have me because I've left my signal on, I disagree.
Yeah.
So I'm not having it.
No. Yeah.
And if you have me about handbrake, not having it because it's on automatic.
Yeah.
And if you have me because I haven't put it into neutral, don't care. I don't want to put it in neutral. There's no need to put it in neutral.
Although with the eco-safe drive now.
Okay, so for the car to go back off, interesting.
It could
Very
be.
interesting.
It's definitely something that needs to be considered.
Okay, that is interesting.
After 50 yards,
I never thought. Can I turn left here?
Straight on.
Yes.
Definitely. 3-lane dual carriageway. We don't have 3-lane dual carriageways.
Do you not?
No. You're mad.
So what's traffic like up there then?
Nothing really. I mean, yeah, nothing.
What, even at peak
rush
times?
hour's busy, I guess. Rush hour down the dual carriageway. One dual carriageway goes through Stoke-on-Trent. That's it, and that's 2 lanes all the way. And yes, that can get reasonably busy, but nothing too fancy.
What happens next is a very common mistake made by PDIs.
Okay.
The road is open, but he's got a slow-moving vehicle in front of him. Speed limit is 50. What should he be doing?
No, this is taking some serious concentration.
What's the speed limit here?
50. Okay, you do. Okay, you want me to keep up even though I'm following another vehicle. Okay, okay, part 2.
Was there any reason to sit behind that vehicle?
Other than I was talking to you, no, not really.
Yeah, I mean, again, we are talking, and this is the thing, right? So
Yeah.
the more you're talking, the less you're going to be able to concentrate.
Absolutely.
Right?
He's flicked his signal on. Yes, absolutely.
That's the point. We are talking.
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit, A1, Watford Way.
Now, in all fairness, I did push him into the overtake, but the mistake he's making now is he's too close to the vehicle in front.
Feel when I make them go on a mock test.
It's actually really good to remind you.
Yeah.
Cross the
How
roundabout and
horrendous
take the second
they actually
exit.
are, and I use that word with every sense of it. Horrendous. Yeah, no. Do you feel horrendous amounts of pressure though? With that being a spiral,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone into the left lane there.
Yeah. Oh, do you think you did something wrong there?
No, I hope not. No.
No, absolutely not. Could you go ahead on that roundabout from there?
I thought
The
I did
lane
go
we're
ahead.
in? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's totally fine.
absolutely, yeah. I guess I could move back across now though. I was behind
After
him.
400
I was
yards,
behind him, yes,
Yeah.
because he's sitting in the overtaking lane. It doesn't mean I should.
Yeah. How far should we be from the vehicle in front?
Minimum of a 2-second gap.
2-second gap. How long did you just sustain less than that, do you think, with that van there?
Microsecond.
Go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
Yeah.
We'll have to analyse that.
We're going to have to,
later.
it's going to all be on video, isn't it? I'll let you concentrate though, because this is the apex corner. This is the roundabout that everyone hates, although coming from there is where the tricky junction is.
Okay.
So we're not quite doing it from the hardest position.
The timing of signals is a little bit off here, but I'm going to put that down as not noteworthy. But PDIs, be careful.
You wanted the second lane from the left as well?
And I really like that as well, because you've not done that from the right-hand position, so you didn't have to go to the right, did you?
No. 300 yards to the roundabout. And we are turning right, third exit. Yes. So that was the apex corner back there, wasn't
That
it?
was the apex
That was
corner.
interesting.
This is another one. So up here, we're actually in the Boreham Wood area now. So there's a test centre just over here too.
A very, very interesting name. A1. I could use the left lane here. The middle lane.
Go right on the
Potentially.
roundabout and take the
A41 could
fourth
I?
exit,
A1.
A411.
Oh,
Barnum
they're
Road.
both straight on, aren't they? That's a mistake. There was a mistake to make.
Josh's best
Go on,
option
yeah.
here would be to just follow the road ahead, but he's choosing to change lanes. If the vehicle to his right doesn't let him in, he's in big trouble. If he holds up the traffic behind him, he's also in big trouble.
Thanks, mate.
The van driver does let him in, and it's only for a couple of seconds, if that, but the vehicle in front has pulled away, and he's held up the traffic behind.
What
On a
hero.
real part 2, it would be up to the examiner to decide whether he'd interfered with vehicles for long enough. And because I feel he has, this is a serious fault.
I'm going to pop that off, actually. No, we're going to leave it on.
I'm going to say he reapplied the signal just in time. And again, the timing of his exit signal is a little bit late, but I'm going to put this down as not noteworthy.
Just a little bit distracting,
What's that?
having that on.
Should I switch that off?
Yeah, if you can.
I do apologise.
That's
Do you
okay,
know what?
it's your fault.
That's a good shout, actually.
Yeah.
That shouldn't really be on, should it?
No.
So if you find yourself on a wrong lane,
Yes.
on a roundabout,
Now, we ultimately disagree on the severity of this fault, but it's not the traffic he was moving into, but the traffic that was behind him that was the problem.
Yeah.
and you're in heavy traffic,
Yeah. Then I would continue on the wrong way, and if that person hadn't let me in and it wasn't, and I was holding people up, then I would have continued on. But as he let me in, It didn't affect anyone. I didn't see that there was any problem. In fact, I actually did it on my part 2, sorry. I did get a driving fault for it, for using the wrong lane, actually.
Did you have to move into heavy traffic like that, though?
Yeah, it was another lane, but I wasn't delaying anyone.
I'm going to strongly recommend that if it was your part 2, you don't do that. And I think he's going to argue this as much as he can, but ultimately,
it's safer to stay in your lane if you're anywhere near a roundabout and go the wrong way, because
look, in reality, you didn't create any major risk in what you did. Yeah.
And as you say,
so what should you have done at that round? I'm going to let you concentrate here.
I should have followed the road ahead.
Yes.
In the lane I was in.
That's it.
That would have been the safest option, because I wouldn't have got a driving fault at all.
Yeah.
So in fact, it was ridiculous even attempting to do it.
Yeah.
So we both agree that it's a fault, but we disagree on the severity. What do you think? Answer in the comments.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find somewhere to pull up on the left in a safe place, please.
Okay.
Okay, so we are now going to perform, and that's the end of the sat nav, by the way.
Okay.
I'm going to take that off for a second. We're going to perform the emergency stop exercise.
Ooh, excellent.
I'd like to bring the car to an immediate abrupt halt at full control.
That's no problem at all.
My signal will be stop, and I'll be making sure it's nice and safe behind us.
Brilliant.
So whenever you're ready, and obviously try and make sure there's no one behind us as you move off, because that's a bit of a pain, isn't it?
It is. It's a downer, that. I like to refer to it as a bit of a bad day.
Josh brings the car to an abrupt halt, but he doesn't look all around the car before moving off.
And stop. I like that. It didn't even get a... Yeah, I like that. I won't ask you that again. Drive on when you're ready.
Okay, fantastic. What did you like about it?
It was just incredibly smooth. You didn't even activate the ABS there.
No, don't want to do that if you can help it.
Is it a problem though if you activate the ABS?
No, not at all. In fact, that's what it's there for. Okay, so this is a national speed limit road. Now, what's interesting about this is it's not a target. It's very much if it's safe.
So what is national speed limit here?
National speed limit is 60 miles an hour because it's a single carriageway. It's just one single road, basically.
So this is what I'd like. You tell me your thought process. In fact, don't tell me, tell them. What's your thought process on a road like this?
Thought process on I would call it a country road or rural road, go straight to limiting points. And the limiting point is the furthest point down the road that you can see. So in this example, the furthest point is that mirror on the left side, the left hedge.
Which is as far as the eye can see with an unobstructed view.
And again, you can see the limiting point, which is the left hedge at the end of the road, which at the moment is quite far away, which means I can go a little bit quicker. But if that gets closer to me, if that starts getting closer, the furthest point I can see starts getting shorter and shorter, then basically it shows as a bend. For instance, my limiting point is getting closer and closer, which means we've got a sharp bend coming up. It's not following the road round. And
obviously, the closer that is, what happens to the risk if we're travelling too fast?
The risk increases drastically because you can't see what's round the bend, and you need to be at the appropriate speed for the bend as well.
That's it.
So down this road, yeah, I've chosen 4th gear. I'm around the 40 mark. It means I've got a little bit more acceleration than choosing 5th gear. And when it's quite windy, I could be up and down with my speed quite a lot. This is a bit straighter part, so I'm going to choose 5th for this section. My limiting point's a lot further on. And it is important, if you are able to, and it is safe, that you are, I would say, around the 50 mark or above, if it's safe to. Basically, you're not going to, it's part 2, isn't it? So in fact, you tell me, what would you expect for part 2 on a country road?
What you mean as regards to speed?
Yeah.
What's appropriate for the conditions?
It is appropriate, absolutely. But if you've got a straight part, what would be inappropriate for conditions?
But do you think, I mean, you got up to 51 miles an hour there, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think that was appropriate for what we were doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that slow?
No, it wasn't slow at all. What would be too slow though for a part 2? On that particular section that I was at.
I mean, if you're hovering around 40, probably.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so at the roundabout, which is just around the bend, we're going to turn left.
Okay.
So, when it's safe to do so, could you put your rear demister on for me, please? Because we've got to do the show me tell me questions, haven't we? I'll do. So when it's safe to do so, if you could open a side window, not your side window.
Okay.
That's it. That'll do.
All right.
That's amazing.
Okay. I'm a bit hot, so we're going to keep it like that.
Are we?
Yeah.
Are you hot? With the AC on? Okay, at the roundabout, we're going to turn left.
Oh, that's kind of you.
I was a bit distracted by the fact that my window was open and that you were telling me that you're hot with the AC
You
on.
should minus a serious thought off me.
I think I might actually.
Yeah.
I'll take one off. Which one should I take off? That's a bit harsh, isn't it? It's a bit harsh.
It was first exit, wasn't it?
Yeah, first exit. Yeah.
You are allowed to double check instructions.
Absolutely. And I strongly recommend, if you're not sure,
you do.
definitely do it.
Amazing that I was felt under pressure to be in my right lane, when if I'd stayed in my other lane, if I'd stayed in the lane and gone the wrong way, I wouldn't have got a fault at all.
Oh, back there, that
Yeah.
roundabout, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, right, I've stupidly missed the speed here, so I'm going to assume for now that it's 50, although everyone's going a lot quicker. Damn,
How do we figure out what the speed limit is here?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to assume it's 50. See, I'm going against the rules that I actually teach. I'm going to assume it's national speed limit, which is 70 miles per hour.
And why have you assumed that?
I've assumed that based on the fact, the video that I've done that says if there are street lights, it's 30 miles per hour. If there's no street lights, it's national speed limit. There are street lights, but it is a dual carriageway, and there's no, without signs regularly, there's no way it's going to be 30 miles per hour. So based on the fact there's a national speed limit sign right there, I'm going to say it's national speed limit.
That's it.
Before we entered the dual carriageway, there was no speed limit sign to indicate a change. The road that we'd been on previously was national speed limit, so therefore it's a continuation.
How many times am I breaking your concentration by talking to you?
All the time.
But also, you're breaking your own concentration because you're speaking to me.
Absolutely.
Yes? Would you be doing that in a part 2?
No, not at all, and I would highly recommend you don't.
Strongly recommend. Yeah, absolutely. Was that very serious?
That was very serious.
Strongly recommend, yeah.
Josh is driving about 62 miles an hour here. If it's your part 2 and the road is open, you must get up to speed limit. Otherwise, you're at risk of picking up a progress fault for appropriate speed.
I like how you're doing the speed limit.
Do you?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
There's one thing that I
Were you
teach
doing
and
the
actually
speed limit
follow.
back there?
Yeah.
Were you?
Behind the van.
Just earlier.
Well, I wasn't doing 70,
No, you weren't.
but I was trying to save fuel. I was trying to be economical.
Were you?
Yeah.
What gear were you in?
5th.
How many gears has this car got?
Oh my god. who told me it's got 6 gears? Where are we going?
Follow the road ahead here, please. I'm gonna.
I didn't even know this had 6 gears.
That was a late route direction for me. So I'll take responsibility for that.
Okay.
If you were in the wrong lane there, I'd have to take responsibility for that, wouldn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the other times.
Yeah. And all the other times. Well, yeah.
I didn't know it had 6 gears.
Do you not? What's that saying? So we talk about precautions before we start a journey here.
You said
so
second
exit. Yeah, follow the road ahead, second exit.
Precautions before starting a journey. Understand how many gears your car's got.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's just all part of it, isn't it?
It is part and parcel. It is part.
But if we're talking part 2, right? So again, there is nothing on the line here, right? We're just filming a video.
Absolutely.
Yes, and
Bit
that's
of fun.
and exactly, there's no way that you're taking this as seriously as you would do if it was a real one, is there? Otherwise,
I'd be sweating and all sorts.
You wouldn't have passed your part 2, would you?
No, first time.
And you passed it first time. Yeah. Well, there you go. So this is just a video, nothing more than that, right? And when things crop up, we just highlight them because it's educational purposes. There's no way that you should feel bad about any of the serious faults that you picked up today.
I don't feel bad. I don't at all. But I like your disclaimer, preparing me mentally. This van here is very, very close.
So again, we talk about progress driving, right? But
Yeah.
what risk is there for us to be sitting next to the van?
It's high risk. That's why I be stuff. Yeah, high risk. And I'm in the
Why
normal
is
driving
that
lane.
high risk?
Because I'm in the normal driving lane and he's in the overtaking lane.
But what position are we when we're right next to him when it comes to his mirrors?
We're in the blind spot. We're possibly in the blind spot. So when he's
Could
looking
be.
in his mirror, he can't actually.
Maybe, possibly, might be in this blind spot.
And if there's a point that he's going to move across, you know, it's going to be when he's over next to him.
So at the roundabout, we're going to be following the road ahead to the second exit.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you that nice and early.
Yeah, I'm going to assume going to assume at stab in the dark there's going to be the middle lane. But I am going to keep an eye, and the lights are red and there's traffic building up, so now could be a good time to change lanes. If you'll let me. Is he going to let me? Yeah, he's letting me. That was generous. What a geezer. What a guy.
I did that for you.
I noticed that.
Because you shouldn't really be doing that.
I don't want to take my hand off the wheel.
You don't want to take your hand off the wheel.
There's no point risking taking my hand off the wheel.
No, at no point should you just take both hands off the wheel, should you?
No, not at any point.
At the roundabout, turn left, please.
Okay. I actually missed the sat-nav. The sat-nav is actually easier.
It's probably the timing of my route directions. Because I'm talking to you, I'm not giving you the most efficient.
It's because I don't know the area is what it is.
Well, you said you want me to turn that off, so I did.
Absolutely.
I bet you're regretting that now, aren't you?
I completely regret it now. Sorry.
What happened there?
I just saw 120 and I thought, oh crap, that's a repeater. And then
take this next road on the right.
and then
do ignore that drive on us. So again, I've told you late. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the next road on the right, which is just past this.
Not this one.
Just past the pedestrian crossing.
Okay.
So I tell you what, if you just pull up on the left, just over here, please, just in between. That's it. There you go. Just look at that. Look at that. That's fantastic, isn't it?
I think so.
So we're just going to do the reverse parallel park exercise.
Perfect.
I thought I'd make it nice and easy for you on a slight downhill slope.
Like it.
You okay with that?
I wouldn't have it any other way.
And obviously just finish off within 2 car lengths of space, reasonably close to and parallel to the curb. And in this case, you must treat the drop curb as if it's a normal curb.
Okay, so we can ignore the driveway.
Yeah, so if you stop in front of it, that's fine. If they come back or want to leave, then we'll bugger off, I guess.
No, I thought that was a really good point for the camera as well, for everyone out there, because sometimes, for me, there's a lot of confusion when they see this, they mix up the fact that the examiner has said when it's safe to do so and when they're just telling them to do something.
Right. Ah, okay.
And in this case, you're telling me to just do this regardless of the driveway there.
Yes.
And I think it's important to mention that.
Yes, yeah. In fact, the examiner must. They must, right? They must tell you that it's okay. Yeah. If they don't, then you're in trouble.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got this?
I've got this. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Sure.
I'm up for this.
You're up for this, okay.
I got this.
You're ready, I'm ready.
Ready.
Now on this manoeuvre, I'm going to probably come across as really harsh.
I chose not to signal because there was no one there.
Beautiful.
There is a car coming my way. I'm lining up just behind this mirror.
There are 3 things that I possibly think Josh could have done differently. Although it's very likely the oncoming car would have come to a stop, it would have been nice for the driver of that vehicle to make the decision for themselves.
I'm going to pop it in reverse. I can see him ahead, but he can wait because they've got no choice.
He doesn't check his right shoulder as he swings the car out to the right.
Moving the car. Continue to move. About 1 o'clock, I'm going to straighten my wheel back up. Just check over the other shoulder. There is a car behind me. Fully aware of that. Keeping an eye on the mirror. And the back door handle's on the curb. I'm going to do a full turn.
He also keeps moving as the vehicle behind comes past.
Oh, I forgot how beautiful those little mirrors are. He's coming past. We'll just wait for that.
Overall, it is a very good park, but I'm marking this on a Part 2 basis. And for these reasons, I'm marking it as a serious fault for observation.
Don't miss anything. I believe I'm close enough there. So I'm going to stop there. I'm within 2 car lengths. Neutral.
Cool.
Happy.
Fantastic. You done?
I'm done.
Done. Okay, drive on when you're ready. And we're just going to literally take the second road on the right. And we're done.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Oh no, sorry, my bad. Take the second road. So there's the first.
Okay. So not the next road on the right. Second road, okay.
Yeah, that's what I
do
said.
all examiners do that, or is that just...
What, that I said take the second road on the right?
Oh, did you say the second?
I
you
did, yeah.
Not.
I did.
Okay.
It's in the video though, but that's fine. It's fine, that's totally fine, because my route directions have been pretty poor today.
End of test.
End of test.
Obviously I passed. I made a couple of hiccups. I did make a few mistakes, because I'm talking.
Yeah, I'm going to put it down for that.
Do you guys think I should have passed that?
I think
forget what he knows.
Yeah, do you know what?
What do you think?
Exactly. Okay, so basically for this, yeah. So just discussing some of the. Should we just leave the serious faults?
No, let's have a look.
Should we have a look at it?
Yeah.
Okay, so both manoeuvres.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it comes to the observation part. So the right reverse bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're right at the beginning of the test, aren't we? And we're talking.
I was nervous there.
You were nervous.
I was nervous there. There was a car coming.
But you know what? You'd never see it. I don't think so. I just think you're having a laugh with it. I think.
Well, both.
But you tell me, would it be serious? So if you're moving, there's a car coming straight at you.
If there was a car coming out and I was doing a mock test, I would have failed them.
Yeah, it's a serious, isn't it?
Why?
Why is it a serious?
If they'd at least assessed it and I could see that they looked a bit more and assessed the situation, might have given her a bit more chance. But I'd say it was a serious because the car's moving, you're on the wrong side of the road and a car's coming past you.
Who's the hazard?
We're the hazard.
Right.
It's the same as moving off without checking your blind spot. If you wouldn't move off with a car being there, so you shouldn't be moving at all with a car being there. Yeah. So it was a good learning curve for you guys. That's why I was doing it, to show you.
With the parallel park,
okay,
you had two situations, didn't you? You had the car that was coming towards you. You made a decision. You're like, he's going to have to wait for me anyway, yeah?
Yeah.
What would you teach the learner driver to do before they start the procedure? What would you be expecting that car to do?
What I'm not understanding is, do you feel that they could have got past if I hadn't started the manoeuvre?
Well, it's more a question of, you said it out loud. And so by saying it out loud, it's possible that that one in itself could be let go, that you're saying that there's not enough room for them to come through.
I wouldn't have allowed my learner to go through there because I would have felt it was too tight and unsafe.
The car coming up behind us though, we're still moving. Yeah. So that one there.
We were still moving until I could see that, yeah, we were still moving, but I was watching them at the same time.
But all I would say, if I was training somebody...
You'd say stop.
I mean, we need to do it in a professional and effective manner, but at the same time, when it comes to observations, if we do it too quickly,
we're likely to miss what is happening around us. The slower you do things, the easier.
And again, this is just for a video. We're coming to the end of the video. I think we've been doing it, that was about an hour. Yeah. You're probably thinking, you know what, I'm done. Let's just can it off. But when it comes to part two, can you take those kind of risks?
No, you're absolutely right. If I was doing my part two and it was a proper part two, then no, absolutely.
But it still has to be a professional park.
Yes.
They don't want to see a learner park.
No.
The changing position, we've already discussed it on the move. So that roundabout.
Yes, moving into the right lane. Yeah.
Are you allowed to change lanes when you are approaching a roundabout? Let's say, for example, we'd seen that a lot sooner, that we were in the wrong lane and there's not a lot of traffic coming up behind us.
Yes.
Can we do that?
Yes, absolutely.
Can we even sometimes change lanes on roundabouts?
Sometimes you have to change lanes on roundabouts.
Right.
Some roundabouts are designed that you need to change lanes in order, so absolutely.
But if we interfere with traffic flow in such a manner,
then you're affecting, as you say, then it's going to
because you even said it out loud, are you going to let me in, buddy? You going to let me in?
Yeah.
He had to let you in. And so because of that, did we affect other drivers?
Yes.
So therefore, is that a serious fault?
No.
One final note on this particular fault. On another day, in a different situation, this could be a driver fault. But the risk you take by changing lanes when all you have to do is follow the lane that you're in is not worth taking. If you hold up the traffic behind you, then you're in trouble. If you hold up the car that's trying to let you in, you're in trouble too. Avoid it completely and always follow the lane that you're in if you find yourself in the wrong lane. Okay,
couple of other things, yeah? So obviously the use of speed right at the beginning, we talked about it, you sped up just before that, you need to make sure that you're going through it, yeah? And there's probably a couple of others along the way there, somewhere like 51, it's just like maintain, it's fine.
Would you give someone a serious fault?
No, those are driver faults, they'll be driver fault. Following distances.
A bit close.
How far should we be from the vehicle in front?
I'll be honest, I didn't even realise.
And again, this is one of the easiest ones to mess up when you're having a conversation with somebody.
2 second time gap we should leave when it's dry conditions minimum.
Yeah.
I thought I was at least 2 seconds.
We just sustained it. So what I do, and this is how I mark it, I'll count it and I'll see that you're within 2 seconds. I'm then expecting you to come off the gas
Yeah.
and start to create a separation gap.
Yeah.
If I then have time to count it again,
Yeah.
and then possibly a third time, it's going down.
Okay.
Thing
Because I'm
like-
talking.
Yeah, because you're talking.
Yeah, absolutely. Very hard, you know. Very hard to sustain concentration while talking. Yeah, the expectation, the level of driving, very, very high.
Do you know what I really like within your driving is that you've got a real good progress drive. Eco-safe drive.
Interesting.
We talked about that.
Interesting, and I wouldn't have picked up on that at all because in my head, the days of having to go back into neutral, pointless.
No, it wasn't
no
that.
need.
I
But
didn't,
as you say,
I didn't give it for that. It was you were driving on the dual carriageway. You were doing 63 to 65 miles an hour. Car was asking you for gear 6.
where was it asking me? I couldn't see the number anywhere.
It flashes up on your screen as a little
Does it?
arrow, yeah. Again, this is not your car. Look, if you're doing a part 2, I would assume the car that you're doing your part 2 in is the car that you'd be practicing and you'd be fully aware of it. But now, because of EcoSafe Drive, that is a really, really important thing to think about because you now get it as a driver fault. It never used to be, but it is now. I'm going to give you one for appropriate speed on the dual carriageway as well.
Too slow?
Yeah.
That's
Afterwards,
mean.
but this is probably the one, and this is the progress drive. On the country lane, I thought that was absolutely, for me, there was just the right balance. On the dual carriageways though, you were happy to sit behind the vehicles and trundle along. That was near.
I'm talking, I can't talk and focus.
Yeah.
I'll trundle along all day.
You trundle along.
Yeah,
but this is
trundling.
the thing, is you will be penalised for that when it comes to your part 2. You can't trundle along, you've got to get moving. So if the speed limit is 50, and at the time that I mentioned it, there was a huge space on the right-hand side.
Yeah. Do you know what? I did get a driving fault on my part 2 for sitting, trundling along in the left lane on the dual carriageway.
But that can easily escalate to a serious.
Yeah.
They will serious fault it like that
Yeah.
if you're not driving fast enough.
Well, I did overtake on my part 2 and then go back into the left lane, but I didn't do it quick enough, and that's what I got.
That's why, so you did go for the overtake.
Yes.
So in that one, if you sit there at 36 miles an hour and it's a 50, and there's no major traffic to block you,
Have you given me a driving fault or a serious fault for that?
driver.
Okay. Cool.
Because we mentioned it and you got going.
Yeah.
But that could have escalated. The coming back on the dual carriageway, it could easily, I've got to be honest, it could easily escalate to a serious. I probably, if this was a legitimate part 2, and we weren't talking, I'd highlight that and give it a serious. You were doing, it was 60, you got it up to about 65 to be honest, and at some point that's not too bad. But that was the highest speed you drove.
Yeah.
You had opportunities to go for overtake.
Right.
You didn't. So, yeah, I'm going to give you a serious fault for appropriate speed.
No, you just said a mine. You said
Yeah,
a
no,
driving
I've
fault. You
changed my
can't
mind.
change your mind. He can't change his mind.
I can.
In the comments, tell him right now he is wrong. That's wrong. What's the biggest reason for people failing their part 2?
It's going to be stuff like that. Following distance.
Really?
Following distance, appropriate speed,
Yeah.
not making progress.
Okay. Interesting.
This is going to be from more personal experience rather than because I'd have to research that. We know that in the driving test, the number one reason is, do you know
observations at junctions.
always be aware of observations at junctions. So anyway, this has been Josh, the driving instructor. Go check out his content. If any of you PDIs want to reach out to either me or Josh, again, Josh has got a lot of content on his channel, then obviously do that. And I am also available for conversation. And there's a Discord that you're involved in.
There is a Discord, Josh the Driving Instructor Discord. You'll find it on my YouTube channel profile, TikTok, anything at all. If you click on the profile, you'll find it there. Literally hundreds now, of people training to become driving instructors within there. You put one question in, you'll get 100 answers back very, very quickly.
Strongly recommend you join that Discord. It's a massive
Free.
community. It is completely free. And there is also, you do a weekly...
Yeah, every Monday we do a free talk. We do a talk on Mondays. We basically talk about a particular topic. Could be business related, you know, how to advertise your business, what you're allowed to do. Might be just how's your week going, how are you progressing with your training. We talk about everything you are thinking as someone that's training to become a driving instructor, we will cover each week.
So yes, if you want to reach out to any of us, then obviously do that. Like, share, comment. See you in the next one. Get well out.